We are going to consider beliefs that people have about learning a second language. As you read each statement, decide whether it is a myth or reality. A major impediment to learning English is the interference of the native language. Is this a myth or reality? This is a myth. In general, bilingual learners use their native language as a support and a resource to help them learn English. What they know about language and learning language transfers over to English. The more time spent in English instruction, the higher the level of academic achievement and English proficiency a learner achieves. Is this a myth or reality? This is also a myth. In fact, there's not a relationship between the time spent in English instruction and the level of academic achievement. Students who are in bilingual programs and receive part of their instructional day in their native language achieve higher levels of academic achievement and English proficiency than other bilingual students. Higher levels of literacy in the native language correspond to higher levels of academic achievement in English. Is this a myth or reality? This is a reality. Part of this factor is that your knowledge level and literacy transfer over to English. A few other myths we need to get out of the way. Number 1, semilingualism is a myth. Almost all students master their native language so they can function and communicate in their communities. There are some exceptions, for example, students who have special learning needs or a language disability, but these are rare exceptions. Myth number 2. This is terrible advice. Parents should have rich, lively conversations in their native languages with their children. Conversations in the native language contribute to language and to cognitive development. Myth number 3. Wrong. All languages are as complex and linguistically rich as English. Through family conversations and storytelling, students are exposed to linguistic complexity in their native languages. Myth number 4. Cognates are useful even when the students do not know the word in their native language. We will discuss this misperception in the Make It Work section. So beyond these myths, how do we explain how two languages operate together? The two languages do not work with an on-off switch. On English, off Spanish. Off English, on Spanish. Rather, students use all of the languages in their linguistic repertoire to complete tasks and understand the world. For example, a student reads a text in English. As she is trying to make meaning, she translates some of the words into Spanish. What is flag in Spanish? Oh, bandera. That makes sense. Or she uses her knowledge of cognates to understand words. Utilize looks like utilizar in Spanish. That must mean to use. She is reading an English text, but she is using both of her languages to help her understand. We want to encourage students to use all of their linguistic resources to learn and understand the world. A second important point. There is a symbiotic relationship between the two languages. What you know in your first language transfers to your second language, and vice versa. For example, if you know letter-sound relationships in your first language, and your second language uses a similar alphabet, you will be able to decode words in your second language. Another example. If you know how to find the main idea of a paragraph in your second language, you will be able to do so in your first language. Both knowledge and skills transfer between languages. The implication here? The continued development in the native language helps students learn. That means supporting use of the native language at home and supporting use of the native language in the classroom. Guiding question for this week: how can I incorporate native languages in instruction to support bilingualism and academic achievement?